What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark, back from MovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm still doing my March Madness, which equates to going through Netflix and picking out the movies over the years that I've liked, that I think are good, great, or excellent, and reviewing them to prove that Netflix can occasionally get it right, and they don't always make hot garbage. This is The Discovery. This movie's so old. It was pre-vision loss. I actually was able to see this movie way, way back in the day. This is like one of the earliest Netflix originals, I think. Um, and stars Robert Redford, Jason Segal, Rooney Mara, Jesse Plemons, Mary Steenburgen, and it's it's a complicated film. So click like and subscribe because we're going to talk about it. First of all, the audio description is really solid, really strong for the movie. There were some scenes that I remembered and brought back to me, sort of the visuals of it, but not much. I've only seen this movie once before, and really the one scene that kept coming back to me is there's a scene with Jason and Rooney where they meet, and it like you see that scene multiple times, and that's why it stuck with me. Keep showing me the same thing over and over, and I'll remember it. Uh, I did remember Robert Redford was in this movie. I did not remember the opening scene of this movie, but I remembered he was in this movie. I couldn't remember what the movie was about either. I couldn't remember what the discovery was. I remembered who was in the movie, but I didn't remember anything else about it. I was like, I kind of remember liking the discovery. Maybe I should watch that again. So, basically, what the discovery is Robert Redford is a scientist who has figured out that when we die, our souls, he has proved that we have souls, and that they go on and they live, and you can take that soul and bring it back, or that it has infinite experiences, and it's really hard to explain this movie. I literally, before I started recording this review, I was trying, I a lot of times I do like a warm-up where I just talk to myself like I'm giving a review, and I couldn't explain it. So I listened to somebody else explain the discovery, and I it's about reincarnation, okay? It's about spirits, and you have a soul, and Seth Rogen, Jason Segal, Jesus Christ, is he is a skeptic of his father, and he thinks, what his father is promoting is blasphemy or dangerous or whatever, so he goes to confront him about it. And he learns along the way that maybe there's something to what his dad is saying, and then his friend slash love interest, played by Rooney Mara, gets into a situation where then Jason Segel feels like he has to, I don't know, use this knowledge that he's acquired about his father's discovery to try and help her. So that's that is the Cliff Notes version of me getting through this movie in a way in which I can make it sound somewhat legitimate. It certainly is a weird movie, and it certainly has big questions that it wants to ask, and have answers to, but it doesn't, some of the things, it doesn't really ever go into how Redford discovered this. It's just, he did. It's one of those things where it just sort of, you have to just accept that things are the way that they are. You may not know why that they are the way that they are. They just are that way. And I kind of think it's always a cop out when it happens, when the movie just says, well, this is what it is. Why is it that way? I don't know. I just watched Zero Day with the Netflix limited series. This is weird because this movie was made way before Zero Day, but they have that whole Proteus thing, and they like refuse to explain it or to go into it. They're just like, yeah, we had this Proteus program, and well, this is basically what it does, and we developed it. Like, they don't really go into the science of it, or how it works, or how it targets one specific person and not like a range of people. Like the less they explain it, they think the more that it feels like there's science there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some scientific reasoning behind it. If we just keep it short and sweet, people won't question it. I questioned the hell out of it because they kept it short and sweet. I was like, wait, no, you didn't explain. You can't just introduce something like that and be like, what? So, it's very much that kind of film where you end up wondering what's happening, because it just kind of is. You just have to accept that it is. You know what I'm saying? That you have to accept the fact that Robert Redford discovered this, and your whole journey is through Jason Segal in believing whether or not what he said is true, and that will be the journey, and the kind of the thing that they like to do in the third act to kind of help solidify and show you whether or not it is or is not true, will help you make that decision. I don't want to spoil the whole movie. I want you to watch The Discovery. So The Discovery is interesting. It has good acting. It has good acting. Has good performances in it from a really talented cast. When you think about who's in this, I mean, we don't immediately always think Jason Segal, fantastic actor. However, if you've been watching Shrinking, Jason Segal, fantastic actor. It's really hard not to watch the second season of Shrinking and be like, well, he doesn't have the chops. I think he does. And everyone else has an Oscar nomination to prove. Well, Redford hasn't for directing, but they all have something to prove that they belong where they are. So it's an interesting movie. And am I glad that I rewatched it? Yes, because I had forgotten it. It's one of those movies that is twisty enough and interesting enough that if you wait long enough to watch it a second time and end up forgetting what the movie's about, it will in turn sort of come alive again. And that was what was cool about this, is sometimes when I've revisited at least one movie of my 31 days in March, where I was like, oh, I did like this, now I don't like the movie. And it was a movie that had kind of a twist in it. It was Midnight Sky. I didn't like it as much as I remembered liking it the first time. Like, it didn't work for me as much the second time through watching it. Still reviewed it because, again, the first time, and it might be the first time for you. The Discovery, however, I would have said was relatively around the same grade that I would have given Midnight Sky. And I actually do think it held up. Like, I think the same experience that I had the first time watching it was repeated because I waited 10 years to watch it again. So if I watch this movie every 10 years, I'll have a great experience with it. I don't know that it's an insanely rewatchable movie unless I really want to dive in and go head first into the conversation on reincarnation, which I don't necessarily always feel the need to. But it is nothing if not intriguing. So for The Discovery, And it can get, yeah, it can be disappointing to not know that there isn't the how we got here. You know what I'm saying? That um all you're getting is the cake, and you have no idea what the ingredients are, and you might be allergic to nuts. And it's scary. It's very scary. You're in that. This is that situation. Is you find out, you're basically being handed something at its completion, uh, and you don't know how it got made. You don't know how we got to the discovery. So it may not work for you. You may be somebody who needs more explanation, or you may be somebody who finds that Jason's experience through the movie, going in as a skeptic, and having to traverse the project and uncover its various worths, um, that's enough. That he is your way in, and that he'll learn enough about it along with you. So I'm going to give the Discovery, I'm going to give it a B. I think it has strong acting, solid performances, asked some interesting questions, but I do wish it had explained a little bit more about why we got there. There's some backstory with Redford and Segal as father and son, and what happened to the wife slash mother, that feels somehow more important than the backstory as to how Redford got to the Discovery. Um, and they're willing to talk about that, but not necessarily the other things. So I feel like we probably could have talked a little bit more about the Discovery or seeing the process or something, instead of just, we're here and we're going to go from here. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.